Okay, this is a video about interpersonal effectiveness skills from DBT about the specific skill Dear Man, which is one that's used when we want to get something, when we have an objective effectiveness goal. So we want something done or we need something, etc. This is when self-respect is not necessarily the goal, and when relationship effectiveness is not necessarily the goal. So, an example might be you need to get yourself to an auto shop, you're on the side of the road late at night, and the tow truck driver comes and is like really rude and inappropriate and has a dirty car. And typically you wouldn't want to hang out with someone like that, but they are the only option that you have for getting yourself safely to an auto shop. So you're going to go ahead and just like keep your head down and get what you need to get done. Um, this skill, Dear Man, can be really helpful, but I really like to remind myself and others that, like, if you're interacting with a human who does not have the capacity to be in their wise mind, either because they have personal trauma or they have a substance in their system or they are anxious and freaked out about their own thing going on. If they're not in their wise mind, then this might not work. It probably won't work. And so a part of interpersonal effectiveness to me that's not explicitly taught in DBT is understanding what nervous system state the other person is in, and recognizing that like you cannot negotiate or navigate or communicate with an alligator. And when people are in fight, flight, freeze, or they're in a long-term defense state from trauma, or they have some sort of skill deficit from trauma, they are not going to be able to meet you where you're at on the Dear Man, and you're probably going to be pretty disappointed. I just thought that interpersonal effectiveness was stupid and didn't work for a long time because I was trying it with people who were not able to communicate with me. So big thing for me is like reminding myself that I'm not going to expect somebody who's not does not have the capacity to respond in any sort of beautiful way. And I'm going to do this for me because it feels good for me to do it, knowing that their behavior is totally like up to their nervous system state. Um, Even people who know better can't do better if they're freaked out. That's just our biology doesn't give us access to our frontal lobe when we're in our lower brain from being scared. Okay, so let me show you this. I'm using the website dbt.tools, which is excellent. Okay, so we've got our skills, Dear Man, give and fast. Dear Man is the one for objective effectiveness. It's when we need something done. So I'm going to walk you through the pieces of it, like all DBT things. It has an acronym, and then I will use the example of the auto shop. Okay, describe the current situation, stick to the facts, express your feelings and opinions. Don't assume the other person knows how you feel. Assert yourself by saying what you want or saying no. Again, don't assume that they'll figure out what you want. Reinforce by like offering why it's good for them. Um, Mindful, keep your focus on your goals, maintain your position, don't be distracted, just sort of like stay on your point, keep making your point. Appear confident, effective, and competent, even if you're not. So, if you're like feeling really nervous, you are gonna try to take really good care of yourself. And, sometimes we can do this, sometimes we can't, and that's okay. Negotiate, be willing to give to get. So, try not to be rigid, focus on what could work, offer options, etc. Okay. So, in my scenario with the auto shop person, the tow truck driver, I'm gonna just say like, say they say something really inappropriate. I'm gonna be like, um, hey, I here is the address for the auto shop that I'd like to go to. Um, Express your feelings and opinions about the situation. In that context, I might just be like, if they're like, why don't we take a little road trip? And I'd be like, I really feel um nervous and uncomfortable, and then reassert, I do not want to go on a road trip. I want to go to the auto shop, right? Reinforce. I know that, AAA is tracking our time, and I want to be able to like get that for your work and for me to get safely. So let's just get ourselves to the auto shop, right? Um, Again, I might use broken record, just like saying it over and over, like, oh, come on, let's do this, da da da. Oh, it will only take 5 minutes, and just reiterate, like, I'd like you to take me to the auto shop. Um, Appear confident. Honestly, I don't love the appear confident. I think there's not like, you can't really hide it. People can read nervous systems. So I would just, personally, I would skip that one, and negotiate. I might say, I'd love to pay you an extra $50 if you can just get me to the auto shop or something like that. Okay. So, as with everything, take what you like, leave the rest, remembering that we may not get our way, but this can help us if we're feeling a little overwhelmed. Like, how do I even start to tell somebody what's important to me or what I need? It can help give a little bit of like a scaffold for us to build. This is a nice one for using when we're in written communication. It's a harder one for when we're in person communication, unless we've really practiced it and have it to memory. But in writing, this is a really great one. Like if you have like a co-parenting thing or a work thing, this one can be really nice. You can have ChatGPT help you. You can say, like, I want to put together this request and I want to use a Dear Man format. They can help you write it that way. Okay, try it out. Let me know what you think. Lots of love.